welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Auto Guy DIY coming at you on another beautiful Sunday. So man, I got a lot going on today. We're gonna jump into that rack and pinion. We're gonna change that out. I gotta do a spark plug change. My parents are coming by. I gotta change the struts on their Acura sounds kind of funny. But anyway, we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna start off with the spark plugs, and then we'll do the rack and pinion. We'll do two separate videos so I can kind of get a little better in depth on what's going on. So let's get out here to the truck and jump right into it. All right, we're out here at the truck. First things first, always disconnect your battery, especially if you're messing with your spark plugs. And then for myself, I take my hose off, I take my breather box all the way out, right? Take my resonator off, which is 210 millimeters. This you pick up and pull out, it'll come right out of there. Oh, make sure to pull your sensor out of there. I usually just pull mine out and set it to the side down here. And then this here, once you disconnect your hose, it'll pull right up. So let me set this camera down and I'll show y'all what's up. So like I stated, this here, 10 millimeter, take your sensor out, pick up and pull out. See, comes right off. Your air breather, once you take your hose off or get your resonator out of the way, this here, you just pick it straight up like so, right? Bam, that's out of the way. So if you look, you have all this room now. So one of the tricks, seeing as I've done this a few times, I've had the truck long enough. So I personally was like, hey, I'm gonna do the hard side first and then we'll jump over to the easy side. Man, I regretted that. So for me personally, I do the passenger side first, from the back to the front. Then I jump over here, do my two easy ones on the driver's side. So when you get done with them, you're done. Because if anybody knows, as well as us Ram owners, we know that these trucks set up tall and it's a lot of leaning over the engine to get them back ones. So before we get started putting them new plugs in the truck, you always want to check your gap. You know, I know when you buy them, they're supposed to be pre-gap, but they get beat around and banged into things. Sometimes them gaps are a little closer, sometimes they're a little further. So you want to always pre-check your gaps before you put them in your truck. Man, that's an important thing when you're putting spark plugs in your ride. So I just went down, bought a little gap tool. So for these Rams, I got you right here highlighted. This is the owner's manual. 5.7 liter V8, 0.045 of an inch. So you always want to check that. If they're a little bit big, just slightly tap them on something, they'll bend easy. If they're closer, just use your gap tool, slightly pry up on it, don't get crazy with it, and get your gap right, and then you can get into installing them on your Hemi. Now that I've got all the gaps checked on the plugs, there was a couple of them that was 0.043, so I went ahead and got them straightened out. So we're out here at the truck. We're gonna start in the back, work our way forward. On the driver's side, we're gonna start in the front and work our way back, right? Pretty much just circle the engine. So I'm not gonna videotape the whole thing. It's two 10 millimeters on your coil pack. It'll pull up, and a regular spark plug wire, it'll pull up. So I will show you the spark plugs when I pull them out and tell you what cylinder they came out of. And then one other thing, guys, gals, whoever's watching this, if you're gonna do a spark plug change, I understand it was $77 for the 16 spark plugs, but change them all. Don't just change 8 of them. Change all 16, it's very important. So I'm gonna get started pulling these out. I'll shoot little clips of the plugs. We're starting at 8, going to 2, then we're starting at 1 and going to 7. So this is the one that come from out from under the spark plug wire. And this is the one that came from out from under the coil pack on cylinder number 8. And then I forgot to mention it's a 5/8 spark plug socket, and make sure it's a spark plug socket and has the little rubber inside to grab the spark plug and pull it out. All right guys, so this is out of the number 6 cylinder. This is the one that came out from under my coil pack. This is the one that came out from under my spark plug wire. You see the buildup on the side of it? Now that is a cause of burning oil. Here we go. This is the number 4 cylinder, passenger side of the truck. Under the coil pack, this one was under the spark plug. So you can see my what are they, valve cover, the spark plug tube seals are leaking. I'm getting some oil pass, but that'll come with an engine rebuild once this one goes down, hopefully around 500,000 or more. So we're gonna continue on. We got the number 2 cylinder, then we'll jump to the other side. It'll go 1, 3, 5, and 7, and then we'll wrap this video up. So here we go, number 2 cylinder. Under the spark plug, under the coil pack. Look at all that buildup from burnt oil. So it looks like my number 6 and my number 2 cylinders are the worst 2 cylinders on this side of the engine. But we're gonna jump into it. And one little side note, when you're tightening these spark plugs up, don't get crazy on it. When they get snug, just barely tighten up and then that's it. You don't need to get crazy. That hot and cold will seat them. This is cylinder number 1, driver's side of the truck. This is the one under the spark plug. This is the one under the coil. Not looking good, fellas. Here we go. This is the number 3 cylinder. This one was under the spark plug wire, and this one was under the coil pack. Still, like I stated on the last plug, man, it's not looking good. All right, this is my number 5 cylinder. So I kind of mixed them up. I believe this is the one that came out from underneath the coil, and this is the one out from underneath the spark plug. And just a little tip, if you look, you can take your 2 little vacuum lines off to your purge valve. You can get your foot down in the frame and it's easier to reach back in here and get these last 4. All right, last cylinder, cylinder number 7. So here we go. Spark plug side, our wire side, coil side. So as we can all tell, we know engine needs to be rebuilt, but I'm gonna get every dollar I can out of it before I rebuild it. All right, y'all, we got everything buttoned up. Everything's back on. Battery terminal's back on. Breather's back in. So the truck hadn't ran in a day and a half. We're gonna fire it up. It was having an idling issue. That's what led me to believe to change the spark plugs. So I'm gonna show you the mileage real quick. 398,801 miles. So let's fire this bad boy up. There it goes. Had to clear it out a little bit. Oh yeah, that thing's idling so much smoother now. Let's jump back here to the back and listen to this thing for a second. So boom, there it is. That is a spark plug DIY video. I'm gonna jump into getting this rack and pinion ripped off. We're gonna start a video on that. So keep living the dream, doing your thing, like and subscribe. Always get at me with a comment, and I'm rolling out.